Poodle, is someone at the door? It's Southern Charm.
Michael, it's time for my medicine.
Come and listen to a podcast hosted by some queens, talking about folks living way above their means. They all live in Charleston where the booze is always flowing,
And we know too much about them all because of Andy Cohen.
bravo that is, Southern Charm, sweet tea.
Well, Cameron is the sweetest.
And Austen is a tool.
Shep can be a jerk, but Chelsea's really cool.
Craig is playing lawyer.
Eliza's playing games. There's a lot of other blonde girls.
We forget their names.
Madison,
Heather Lynn.
Skimbleshanks.
It's Sweet Tea, the unauthorized Southern Charm podcast.
I think I'm going to have to get drunk tonight.
You know,
This is so awful.
you know what?
The
You tell me
Mercury
what
retrograde.
happened. I'm getting a beer because I'm glad I had
Y'all-
a great day today, and you stressed me out.
Mercury, the god Mercury, has raw dogged me all day today, and it has not been fun. And I love it how some bitch can just get up and go get a beer in my time of need. Well, anyway, y'all, basically, we've had mic problems, we've had internet problems, I've had slang problems, not the kind you have sex in.
Have a beer.
Nice. Have a beer. But yeah, I'm at the end of my proverbial rope.
You know what I told Poodle today? That it was a beautiful day here in Houston. It was sunny, but like really crisp, and it felt like fall. And I kind of opened the windows, and I made homemade chicken stock for my dad, and then I cooked a healthy dinner for myself. And I said I couldn't wait to just sit down and have a healthy dinner and have the one luxury of a glass of red wine, a nice Cabernet. And the Airbnb doesn't have a corkscrew.
What Airbnb does not have a corkscrew? They all should
This
come
one
with
does
it. Because
not.
people drink on the
I'm
road.
like 1-star rating now. Fuck this.
You should. Y'all, this is Sweet Tea.
This is
We are back after a year.
A year
or
and
so.
more than a year.
A year. So what's changed?
y'all. Well. First of all,
What's changed?
if you're new to Sweet Tea, everybody, my name is Matt Marr. People call me Maddie.
And I am Poodle, aka Jake. You might have found us through our 90 Day Gaze feed, but this is the podcast that was actually first.
It
was our Southern Charm podcast.
If you're go ahead.
And before that, there was TV Tea Time and River Mails
and
Oh my God.
Risty and Fisty and what's this fucking show with these two gay guys? We should have a podcast called Risty and Fisty, and we just talk about sex.
I'm gonna be wristy because you're gonna be fisty because ain't no one fisting
No
me.
one's fisting me. Anyway, y'all. So we had a little teaser. Some of y'all listened to. Maybe I don't know. Maybe some people are like, I've just been listening to Sweet Tea. I didn't even know y'all did 90 Day Fiance.
Maybe, but we're back. We're back with not really a vengeance, more like a whimper.
More like a whimper. Although I will say, there's two words that have piqued my interest, and I haven't even spoken to you about this, but I know it doesn't need to be.
I love surprises. I don't.
But there's two words that have piqued my interest with this show, and its name is John Pringle.
I think I was going to say the same thing, y'all. He's the fucking brawny man come to life.
He is the brawny man come to. That is
Holy
perfect.
Fucking shit.
Whoa.
I would beg for it on my knees.
And like a paper towel, he could sop up my wetness.
I would let him do
Picks up more
ungodly things to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know how everyone kind of has rules? Like, you can't piss in my mouth.
Oh,
No,
God. Oh, God. That almost made beer go up my nose. Oh, God.
Or there's no way I'm going to role play with me playing your mother.
Yes.
I would drop all those for John Pringle in a second. For Pringle.
He's a very good-looking man. And then when Poodle found out that he comes from aristocracy and that he's probably rich.
That was it. Definitely has a family who owns slaves. Almost
for
certainly.
sure. So we should, for those of you new, this is a little different than 90 Day Gays because there we're just spouting off shit we don't know, and this one we feel like we're a little bit different than some of the other podcasts that talk about this because, well, I'm kind of Southern because Oklahoma's a weird state.
No, you're not. It's fine. You're a fake Southerner, but it's fine.
My family's from the deep South, North Carolina and Alabama, but Poodle is from South Carolina.
I'm actually I'm a sandlapper, y'all. So if anyone's listening saying these two queens don't know anything, they don't know Charleston, they don't know
Poodle
anything.
has fucked guys in Charleston.
Oh yes. And surprisingly, the wealthier you are, the bigger your dick does not get. I know that's shocking. But I spent a lot of summers in Charleston. I'm actually originally from an area near Greenville, South Carolina. So I'm from the upstate.
What
for you South Carolinians.
Town, Poodle?
Pickens, South Carolina, named after Revolutionary War General Andrew Pickens, also known as never mind. I can't remember he had a nickname, but who knows?
Slim Pickens.
It's not Francis Marion, who was known as the Swamp Fox. Swamp Fox.
I don't even know what you're talking about. That's y'all. South Carolina is a weird state.
Well, South Carolina is really obsessed with its history.
It is,
and it being the first state to secede from the Union over the Confederacy ideals. So they're pretty much, you really can't convince them either way. But yeah, I'm a dyed in the wool South Carolina boy. So I will have something to say about most of this. So that gives me cachet to say anything.
It will be interesting in that, one thing that Poodle and I talked about that, y'all, we didn't know if we were going to do this show again. Cause honestly,
we didn't. Last season was so bad.
It was started out, we thought going to be good. And then it just ended really horribly. And it was just sad. I remember when we watched that finale, we were just sad. Like when you, like when you blued up and like seven guys that are come over, and then the only guy that comes over is like the nerd who
skinny methed up twink.
Yeah, the one looking, and he's like a nerd who doesn't even like and then he tells you, I'm not really a top, I'm a bottom.
And he's a bottom.
And you're just sad. You're just sad.
You've spent all that time cleaning out.
Or you know what?
And
it's even, you know what? It was sadder. It's like when you go to someone's house to see, and you see brownies, and then you find out they're sugar-free. That's the worst right there.
Sugar-free is fine.
Really?
It's just that it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Hey, there's still fat in it. That's all I care about.
So the way that we do this show, y'all, in the past, we talked about our tea bags, and Poodle and I kind of gated and jumped around. So we're going to kind of more talk about the show in a linear progression. We feel like that just kind of, but that's
how we've been doing 90
We're
Day.
still going to be doing our quote and quotables at the end of the show. And if there's any other segments that we missed, just come at us and let us know, because we're not going to go back and listen to our episodes.
And if you longtime sweet tea listeners, sweet teasers, decide you want the tea bags, that's fine. We may talk about going back to that, but we've been kind of recapping things pretty well on 90 Day.
Oh, we have a good time,
and it does. We've grown a lot since then, y'all.
Well, the Southern charm has changed. Why don't we change?
I agree.
Because
no, I'm not saying no. I am saying since we've done Sweet Tea, you guys, if you're just a listener to Sweet Tea, we've done pretty well with our 90 Day Fiance podcast, 90 Day Gays. And we've got over 2,500 views on Apple Podcasts. And so if you only listen to Sweet Tea, you should take a listen to 90 Day. We're making magic over there.
You said 2,500. That's 2,500. You mean 250,000?
We don't have 2,500 reviews.
Oh, reviews.
Yeah.
I'm talking about downloads. I was like, we have more downloads.
Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
No, that's not nice. So, quick thoughts about this beginning of the season, or do you want to just jump in, or do you want to do final thoughts at the end?
Well, let me just talk about where we were before you got this ended, like in the fall of 2019.
Yeah, and I think this is appropriate because I actually like the way they're doing this show. They kind of let us know that, yes, this show's going to talk about COVID. It's going to talk about what's happening in the current environment. And let's go back to 6 months ago when life was happy. So that's kind of like where we all were. I like that. Go ahead.
So this is before we even knew what COVID was, you guys. And this is before me going to China. I don't know if you knew about this. If I said it on the podcast, I went to China. I went to these places that had coronavirus.
Sadly, she came back.
I don't know if I had it. We had a real fun time podcasting while I was there, though.
Fun for no one but you.
Like when I was podcasting in a hotel lobby, and it was like ding ding a ding ding.
He's
ding,
not
ding,
being
ding.
racist. They literally were playing that music. So yeah, we also, a lot of things which I think are changing the show. There was no COVID. I don't want to say there was no George Floyd, because sadly there's been George Floyd's for decades.
Yeah, it just never got really
there was none
reported.
That movement of that. I think the Me Too movement have happened, and the show kind of that happened the year prior. But really, those two things have really kind of obviously rocked our world and American society. And so, what's interesting, how I think what's cool, what they seem to be doing in Southern Charm is like Poodle just talked about. South Carolina is definitely probably from a COVID standpoint, but also wouldn't you say it's probably the seat of slavery in our country? I mean, it was really where it's such an old, it's such an institutional thing there. So it'll be interesting to just so much has changed in the world that's going to affect South Carolina.
I would say the scars of slavery are still there, which is where Nikki Haley, a fixture in the Trump era, but she was the one who said, sure, take the Confederate flag down. That was a huge deal when the Confederate flag was removed from the South Carolina State
She's
House.
the governor
Huge
of South
deal.
Carolina, or was
at the time
was, for people that don't know.
And then she became ambassador to UN.
So anyway, y'all, it's a different Southern charm. But 6 months ago, we were just worried about chlamydia. That was it.
And how Madison basically and Austen started a chlamydia rumor, and that was it. That was enough for 2019.
That was enough.
And I think too, we also had Cameron, we had Naomi, and we also had Chelsea. And y'all, all three of those are missed. Not so fast, Naomi. You are not missed.
Not so fast, Naomi. Now,
and you're kind of like hammerhead shark face because of your eyes were too far apart.
It's true. So the way the show starts is that it's showing them.
Are we jumping in?
I guess so. Yeah, I feel like, right.
Okay, sure.
It started with the theme music, and I got so excited. And then it shows everybody like having COVIDs and all that, and kind of experiencing that. Like, it was very dramatic.
Oof. I don't like this kind of foreshadowing.
Oh, I do. They do this on 90 Day Fiance. They're doing it this season with Devin and Jihoon.
I feel like it's super manipulative, and it doesn't play to our better angels. But I get it. I get why
they have to do it though too, because if they just showed 6 months ago and everybody's having a good time,
I know.
It just.
I agree. I feel like it's drama. I feel like it's dramatizing a fucking epidemic, and it makes me sad. That's all. It's not showing the epidemic that makes me sad. It's dramatizing it.
Well,
I know. And there's a way you can do documentary kind of in a way that's not hyper emotional. TLC nor Bravo know anything about this.
No.
But so that's why I had a problem with it. It has nothing to do with the fact they're showing the pandemic. It's the fact that they're trying to dramatize it and they're trying to gin up feelings within us.
Yes. So we kind of jump in. But we go back 6 months ago and see where people are now. We see, Madison's she's a full-time cast member now, and we see her with her son, Hudson.
Oh, before that, no, there's Craig and I didn't even watch this.
Oh yeah, there's Craig and he's brushing
You were
his
the
teeth.
one who were supposed to tell me because I missed the first 3 minutes and I had to look it up.
It was shirtless Craig brushing his teeth. Did you see it? He's shirtless, and I know
I missed it.
He was shirtless, and he looks kind of slim and doughy at the same time, and it's so hot for you.
I love Craig, y'all. I still love Craig. Craig and his pearl bracelet. I don't know what's going on there, but I love it. Craig and his manicure. Oh,
I do.
He's my favorite.
I know you love him.
He's my world.
I like him. I just can't listen to him speak so much.
Like this. Yeah. He talks like this. So Craig right now is living with Austen, you guys. Austen with the drunk frat boy with the tongue that's too big. Madison.
I'm gonna make some beer. It's gonna be.
I'm gonna make some beer.
It's gonna be called.
My tongue's too big for my mouth, and it looks like its own entity.
I look like Fred from Scooby Doo, but I'm less smart.
Y'all. He is literally the bottom of the barrel of guys you would fuck.
You would fuck him.
Yeah. Because I have a bottom of the barrel.
No, you just have a bottom.
I did not say I would not fuck him. I'm saying in Charleston, these girls who are better, the thing is, women are better than me. I'm a slut. I'm completely aware of that. I would bang a straight guy real quick.
Well,
just so I could say I've done it.
And you have.
So Craig is living with Austen because his house flooded and apparently had asbestos and chemicals all in it. Because leave it to Craig to have asbestos in his house. I didn't really follow a lot, but Craig's living with Austen. Craig's got laundry everywhere because of course he does.
No, y'all, and Craig washes clothes at night and then leaves them in the wash all night and then dries them the next day. Y'all, that makes moldy smelling clothes, and it's one of my least favorite smells in the world. Don't do that.
Honestly, though, if you wash clothes at night and you don't leave them for 24 hours, it's fine.
Yeah.
Clothes aren't going to mold within 6 hours or 8 hours.
Like it. Well, so I'm not a fan of it, but Craig is, a lot of you went to these and messaged us. He talked about he's doing the Sewing Down South. His pillow company is going well.
He's doing pop-ups,
he
y'all.
Was. And again, in perfect Craig fashion, the producer says, "Did you imagine you would be doing this?" And Craig's like, "I did. It was just no one else did." Which is so Craig to be like, most people be like, "No, never in my wildest dreams." And Craig's like, "Yeah, I saw it. Everybody else was against me."
I love weird, contrary Craig. Because here's what Craig is. Craig is a weird, socially unacceptable nerd in a really attractive guy's body.
This is true.
Totally.
This is true.
And something happened on the way to heaven because he never really understood that he's attractive. And he had to be weird.
That's true.
And yeah, something's off.
And Naomi really, she didn't really have a lot of... they were in a toxic relationship, so they kind of showed that too. But
Craig needs to be with a weird girl. A girl who, not a regular Charleston girl. He needs to go outside of Charleston because Charleston women are pretty, just like the men, are pretty one note.
Well, they also don't have, we're missing a cast member that was on last season.
Who?
Exactly.
I'm forgetting.
I'll give you a hint. We went on a tour of her plantation, and Chelsea was like, "This is fucked up."
Oh, Eliza. It's horror being a Limehouse. I had forgotten about her.
about her too, just until this moment.
I'd honestly forgotten about her. It's horrible, Limehouse,
Sorry,
y'all.
thank God she's not on this show. So
She is
oh,
pregnant.
good for her though.
Or maybe she's had her
Yeah,
baby.
She had a baby.
God, she was fucking dumb.
Also, after the reunion, we get it. So Austen and Madison are back together. They took like 6 months of time off, and then they realized that they were still in love with each other, or Madison realized she still wanted to be on a reality show.
I agree, and I wanna point out what Madison said. Is she said, I don't know. It's like we realized we liked each other, and we can't stay away from each other. We liked each other too much, and I'm like, that's called codependency.
Yeah,
it's not a good relationship. I know Maddie was more Team Madison than me. I'm still not a fan of hers.
you were though.
Near the end.
You were, because I just listened to the episode while you were doing it, and you said in that episode,
how dare you?
You said Maddie liked her first, but I'm officially on the Madison train. That's verbatim of what you said.
Well, maybe it's after not even being near her.
Well, but that was the episode before the whole chlamydia thing. We both were really into Madison, and then the chlamydia thing happened, and we both just
Chlamydia gate
happened, and because we do love Danny, y'all, and we both were just kind of like, ugh. But I still like Madison, and what I like about Madison, first of all, and I know this is so shallow, she's just so fucking beautiful, and her hair always looks perfect.
She looks better this season. I don't have that same thing that you do. I still don't really like her.
I look at her and I think of my cousin's Peaches and Cream Barbie. I'm just entranced by it.
This is the third or fourth time in a month you've mentioned Peaches and Cream Barbie. You should just buy yourself one.
Come at me if you want to buy me. Don't buy me one. I don't have any place to put it.
I never liked dolls.
I didn't either, but I just loved Peaches and Cream Barbie. I loved combing her hair. She was so pretty and her dress was so beautiful.
Hint, you like dolls. If you want to comb a doll's hair.
Just Peaches and Cream Barbie. The other Barbie, Malibu Barbie, I didn't care about them.
Okay.
I wanted Peaches and Cream. Anyway.
And that's even sadder.
But no, I was just going to say, I do think she's beautiful, but B, I kind of think that like she's good TV. She's a good, I have to say, she's a way better reality star than Cameron and Chelsea.
Yeah, I still don't have to like her.
No, but I'm saying
I don't care if she's good
I like
TV.
that she's on the show because she makes it more interesting, because when she wasn't, to be honest, it was becoming a boring show.
I feel like she's always ready to drop an insulting line to someone, and I can enjoy watching someone like that. I don't have to like them, and I don't like
that.
them.
Literally is my day-to-day fear when every time I go out with you. What is Poodle going to say?
Maybe I hate her or don't like her because she's too much like me.
She is so much like you. She's a huge opportunist, and I kind of respect her for it because, we sometimes men get a pass on this. Oh, they're just being a man. But I'm like, kind of good for you for being a woman who's like, fuck it. But I get how she rubs people the wrong way. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So you guys, the next thing we go into is so Craig's still doing his pillows things. He's got his Patricia pajamas on because she does dogs.
It's true.
I will say this show knows how to do a brand like none other.
They even did a Ford commercial when Shep was talking on his phone.
They did. This show, I think that may be a Bravo thing. So Kathryn, you guys, Kathryn's had a real history with this show because she's been the villain, then she's been the hero, then she's been the villain, then she's been the survivor, and now who knows where she is because she's staying in Thomas's house. Let that sink in. And when I saw Thomas Ravenel walk down those stairs, something in me twisted and I was disgusted.
I did not like seeing him. I was surprised they showed him. Y'all, as you know, nothing's proven, but there's alleged. And they weirdly talked about the alleged sexual assault, and they talked about it last season. And I will say this show, we're going to talk about it more this episode. They have not shied away of anything that has happened outside of these people's lives. And I like that they bring that in normally. But this, I just didn't want to see Thomas.
Whatever you do, and I'm saying it if you're a little worried about it, and go ahead and do it. Follow Thomas Ravenel on Twitter. You'll be mortified at what he says, and he's even a worse person than you thought.
Oh, the
things that he has said about the current crop of candidates and the current political race is mortifying.
I don't follow him because he is almost more than anybody. He is such like the embodiment of white privilege. So
yeah, we knew that going in.
I have to say, I was listening a little bit. Good for us. We talked about this shit on our episode last season too. That's because we're deep.
I'm glad you're giving us kudos, which is not a weird thing to do.
We're not deep at all. But so yes, so they talk about Kathryn's, and they bring up this Insta story that happened where everybody heard Thomas and Kathryn's video, and they're like, are they together? Are they together? They're not together. Kathryn's house is being redone or something like that. And so they're getting along
Thomas.
better. She's staying with Thomas. She's like, all their custody is settled. It's 50-50. She said, we're getting along. And
we see kids though, and Kenzie's looking really cute. Saint, the less said, the better. I don't know what's going on with him.
I think they're both getting a little cuter. They just both, you know what it is? They both look just like Kathryn. And Kathryn has really wide eyes, and it just looks odd on a kid. But as an adult, it looks beautiful because already Kenzie is really grown and she's becoming a cute kid.
Yeah, this is terrible. I just feel like something is wrong with Saint. And I know we've said that before.
Well,
we're gonna I don't know what else to say.
We're going to get letters on that now. So
I'm just saying what I think. You can come for me alone.
Come ahead, take it or fake it. The views of Jake Anthony do not reflect.
I'm just not afraid to say something that everyone else thinks.
Oh God.
Okay. Anyway, so
it was weird seeing them together. The kids were talking, they were laughing, and Kathryn was kind of like, "This is the way things could be, if everything wasn't so fucked up."
And then Kenzie's like, and then Thomas Ravenel's like, she really likes it when we're together and foghorn leghorn.
Kathryn, you want us to be together, Kathryn? No, she doesn't.
No one wants that.
You know what I want more than anything? I want Kathryn to color her roots.
Oh, they were rough this episode.
Get some powder. You're going to be on television. Fill them in. Like, you guys, when you're a redhead like that, there's no ombre of like you're blonde with dark roots.
Yeah.
This did not look good.
And her eyebrows looked like fucking Clarabelle the Clown. It was really bad.
You can really tell Kathryn wears more and more makeup each season. It's more makeup and more tits each season.
Oh, that pink dress with those boobs. Those boobs were cinched for the gods.
They were milkalicious.
And she hasn't had a boob job,
no,
right?
No, she just had great boobs.
They're like pushed together.
I'm not making fun of her for showing them. I'm just saying she just like, it's like the more confidence it gets, the more tits she shows.
Yeah.
Good for her.
So let's talk about Madison. Madison has, and her son is actually been featured on the show, Hunter. And Hunter is, I want to say 8 or 9.
I hope he's gay because she needs a gay son. She'd be a good gay son mom.
He has all the indications. He does
love feathering his hair. And y'all, I used to blow dry my hair all the time as a kid. I loved blowing my hair. And that's when I'd put that drop of cologne on the top of my head so that when my mama hugged me, she'd smell my hair.
And I will say, you can have a gay son who doesn't do all that fastidious shit because of Exhibit A me. Because I was just like, I'm going to do my hair however I want to. Or you can have a fastidious, like, ridiculously person who's appearance obsessed, like this one. But that's fine.
I was more when I was younger. Now I could give two shits. And actually,
there's a lot of different
kind of switched where now you can't walk by a mirror and stop and stare.
Maybe, but there's a big difference between you will fix your hair if you go to Subway.
No, I won't.
You fix your hair when you come see me.
I get up in the day and I take a shower and I fix my hair.
Fine. All right. Whatever.
If we're playing the vanity game, I lose because no one is more vain than you.
That's not true.
I'm sorry. No one's more vain. You are the more vain one of us. But we know people that are way more vain. But
yeah,
you literally, I literally have seen you stare in a mirror like Narcissus.
I do, but because this is a true confession. I'm looking at the things I would not change, but I'm looking to make sure I'm okay.
Well, there's nothing you should change about you.
Thank you. Now I made you turn the tables.
No.
I love it. It's like Adele. Turning tables.
You should change it. I mean, you will eventually get some Botox and you'll get your eyes done when I get mine done. But until then, you're fine.
But I'm kind of assessing what's going on there. Actually, I like my face a lot nowadays. But as a young child, I asked my mother for a nose job. I did. And my mom's like, if you want it, we'll get it for you. And I just never really followed through with it. But everyone I've dated has liked my nose, so I haven't really had a problem with it.
I guess when you're, because when they're getting you from behind, you turn around and say hi. So that's when they see your nose. I'm like, I thought they usually just see the back of your head.
It's just the rear view. It's just the posterior view.
Y'all,
nice nose.
Y'all love yourself.
When they're choking me, and they're bringing it up around and pulling my neck around. I'm like, hey there. They're like, you got a nice nose.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
I love it when I bring in like really vivid sex stuff. You're like,
because I know it's real.
Where am I?
We just got done talking. So
I don't like being choked. Just by the way, everyone sees that in porn, and that's a thing that people think that you should do to people. I don't enjoy being choked at all.
I don't want to be choked. So Kathryn has renovated her townhouse, and she talks about that. And then she talks a little bit about, Kathryn's mother passed away. And so she talks a bit about that. Yep. She had breast cancer. They thought they'd beaten it, and it came back. So, I mean, there's nothing really else to say to that except for...
It's a big deal for her. Yeah.
She was kind of the only person that supported her during all this, like her main support. And this is all... Her mother died whenever she was like in the last 6 months of getting custody of her kids.
Yeah, it was the worst time possible.
It was a really shit time. And I will say, I feel like Kathryn this episode, I think Kathryn's probably going to stir more shit this season, but she also seems to be a little bit more, she seems lighter to me. Like her energy seems lighter and just more wanting to have, she's drinking now.
I feel like she's much more of a plot tool this season instead of a major story point, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
She's much more the shit stirrer.
I think
instead of the main story is going to be Austen and Madison.
Yeah.
And maybe Austen and maybe Madison and John Pringle.
Well, and also I think Shep's going to be big for us, which we could talk about that now. Let's talk about Shep.
I think before we do that, we should take a commercial break. And we're back.
Oh, y'all.
Patricia.
Gosh.
Patricia, I'm having a party, and I'd really like for you to come to my party.
But it's with a southern accent. And I'd really like for you to come to my party. It's like Southern Goofy.
Southern Goofy.
I'd like to say that everything about Shep feels a little different to me. All of his energy changed. Number one, his hair is much better. I like the little curly kind of thing.
It is.
I know we were super hard on him last season, as everyone was, because he just became an asshole and just became difficult and just became nasty to everybody. he has a different feel now, which is the Shep that we remember from like season 1 and 2. And kind of like genteel old South. He's still a little iffy, but it's a lot better than the mean, kind of like fight picking, trying to belittle everyone Shep that we saw last season.
Yeah, really,
especially to Craig.
Really arrogant and entitled. That's really, what he was. And y'all, he's been going to therapy,
which is a huge thing because Shep, you would never think Shep would go to therapy. So maybe it's working out his anger issues that has made him. Because I could just, I'm a life coach, voice coach, and even through the TV, I could see something was different about him.
Yeah, I think that I think he was much. He just seemed calmer, and I think a lot of that could be he has a girlfriend. Her name's Taylor, and I think.
What do you think about her?
She seems fine. I mean,
that was exactly I wrote. She seems fine. She seems maybe she calls him on his bullshit.
Oh, I think for sure she does.
This is going to sound nasty, but I'm not meaning it. I don't think she was the interesting, life-changing match he was looking for. And maybe that's a good thing. And, who knows?
I don't know. I don't know.
We haven't seen her enough.
Well, and maybe she was. But the deal is, I think why you say that, it was odd that y'all, I mean, there was even a spinoff of the show called Relationship.
Oh, so it was so fucking bad.
And that's all that Cameron and Shep ever talked about was Shep's dating life. So it does seem odd that they're like, oh, and by the way, Shep has a girlfriend. When this is very odd. This has been his narrative. This whole entire season of the show is Shep finding the love of his life and unable to settle down. And then it was kind of an afterthought of just, okay, well, he's with Taylor. Yeah.
I got a girlfriend now.
So, which to me means she's probably agreed to be on the reality show, but she sounds like she doesn't want to be a reality star, which he definitely needs to be with somebody like that.
I feel like he needs to be with someone who challenges him at every turn because, and I've said this from the very first, when we're doing this season, you guys, the thing that makes Shep formidable as a reality person is he's intelligent. And he's super intelligent. He doesn't always have the most emotional intelligence, but he loves to win an argument. He loves the debate. He loves to talk about things. Actually, and I would say if you're not following Shep on Twitter, you're missing out because he's saying some amazing things about our current political system.
I like his Twitter too, actually.
Yeah.
But no, he even says it to Miss Pat. He says, that to Patricia and her new puppy, y'all, Peaches.
Who's a fucking Pomeranian?
Who's a fucking Pomeranian. And
they bark nonstop. Oh, Jesus.
And so, because he's there invited to the party, but he says that like he recognized that he said, I like to win. And that is
I don't know about that at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the Confederate spirit, you guys. We lost a little bit. We got to win again.
Well, the Confederate lost, so let it go.
That's what I'm saying. We lost.
No, that's what I'm saying to them. It's that whole thing of like, and she says it, it's so true. It's that whole thing Brene Brown talks about. You can either be right or you can get it right. And so I'm hoping that Shep is like, now with this therapy, and he's like, it's not about being the top dog all the time. It's about just me letting that go because that was so much ego he had involved in that. And maybe Taylor is just, we'll talk about this later, but when there was an incident at his party and her first kind of thing we hear her say to him is like, don't get involved in that, which is not the Shep way because Shep gets involved in everything.
And I will say she does seem like a calming influence on him.
Yeah.
And him and like almost a grounding a power line that's been hit by lightning, and so maybe that's good for him. Maybe having someone. I will always say the best kind of relationship for me is someone who's ridiculously normal, but who has an aspiration to kind of not be normal. That's the best relationship for me.
And has a huge dick.
And to this, I never want someone who's normal, and that's the problem. Because I love to be taken out of my existence. I love that. And a huge dick. By the way, if you haven't listened for a while, I'm a slut.
We're sex positive on this show. You're a slut. I'm a slut. You're all sluts.
You know what? Your mom's a slut.
Yeah,
your mom's a huge slut. You know what? She was banging your dad every other night.
Your dad's a slut too. I bet he banged your mom's brother.
You know who else is a slut? Your fucking grandmother.
Oh, slutties McSlutties.
She was a huge slut.
Oh yeah.
And if you're offended by me calling your grandmother a slut, you need to rethink that.
You know what? There's nothing wrong with the grandma being a slut. My name is Porn Granny. My name is Porn Granny. I'm normally on 90 Day Fiance, but I just
don't belong here, Porn Granny.
On this episode to say you can be a grandma and do porn, because that's what I do. Because I'm Porn Granny.
I bind you, Porn Granny, from doing harm to yourself and harm to others. You need to expiate yourself out of this.
That is not Porn Granny's fault. You literally talked about a grandma having sex.
So I summoned her.
You summoned her. Anytime they say grandma and sex in the same sentence, she goes, "Hey, is that somebody calling?"
Of people who want to be grandmothers, let's talk about Patricia. The Queen, Pat, you guys, it's possible she's had another little surgery. Her eyes look a little more lizard-ish. She looks good. Her chin looks good. I feel like it might have been a chin issue.
I just think she had fresh. I don't think she had anything major surgery. I just think she had fresh Botox and some fillers, and I think she looks amazing.
She looks amazing.
She looks gorgeous.
And and Pat and y'all, we should put that in the Facebook group. Don't come for Liza Minnelli, Judy Garland, or Patricia Altschul.
Do not come for Patricia. Yeah, y'all. As we know, we were just starting our sissy squad back when the day our private, but we have a rule: no Judy, no Liza, and no Patricia Altschul.
We should really Patricia.
Yeah, maybe what a Chris or Andrea or Jack. What do y'all write that in?
And no one really comes for her because everyone knows that she would rip their throat out like Mortal Kombat.
Finish him with a smile. It's like when Shep talking about therapy. She said, "Oh, I'm beyond that. It's too late for me. I'm old."
Pat would never go to therapy.
No,
her therapy is shopping.
Her therapy is when Michael makes her medicine. Now,
or buying her a new dog.
Now, Shep is going to have this party, y'all, called a Dumb and Dumber Formal.
Okay, let's just be honest. This is a terrible idea to get everyone in one room, and this is one of the worst themes I've ever heard.
It did feel, I know they normally do a party at the end of the year, but for him to start this party, it did feel very like, okay, they needed something to do for this.
Yeah. I also will say this is not Charleston. It's very not, it's undignified, if I need to say that. And let's talk about
the theme of the party.
The theme.
But isn't that kind of, I feel like that's Shep's thing. I think Shep feels like, that's the thing about Shep. I think Shep thinks that he is like he's deviant or kind of on the alternative end of his culture that he grew up in, when he just makes old man jokes.
Even that though, like you should have, I want to also say that where they had this party was like some kind of WeWork office.
It was not a great
It was awful. Whatever this event facility was, it was terrible with those little stand-up tables. God, I hate stand-up tables. That you have to like stand up and make terrible conversation with people you don't know and hate.
Well, Patricia was not impressed with the food, but we'll get to that.
I kind of agree, though. If you're going to serve liquor at your party,
you have to serve food.
You have to serve hors d'oeuvres. And it should be what we call heavy hors d'oeuvres, and not just like a veggie dip. And I find being from the South,
God.
and when I go to parties here and people just put out shit, I find that in general the party fare is leaves a lot to be desired, especially if you're serving alcohol.
Wow,
you have to have something.
That was a lot less
it.
brutal and a lot less of a soapbox. I thought we were going to go down.
No, I just think that you need to serve heavy hors d'oeuvres, which at least 2 of them needs to be hot.
Oh, here we go.
Everything else can be store bought, but 2 of them need to be made and they need to be hot.
No.
I really do believe that. Now, if you're just having people over for wine, you can serve cheese, you can serve bread. You don't have to do heavy hors d'oeuvres. If you serve liquor, it's a whole different thing. That is a responsible thing to do. You have to serve heavy hors d'oeuvres. It's just the way. It's very, very Southern in that way.
I agree.
I was taught that by my godmother because she always had these parties.
And your mother would bitch about them, or she like them?
My godmother would complain about people having parties because they would always do rum and cokes. But if she was going to do rum and cokes, she would always have like kind of a meal or like a heavy appetizer like fondue or something like that. You never would just serve light hors d'oeuvres if you had liquor.
All right.
That's a Southern thing.
All right, everybody.
Anyway, don't pull over, y'all. There's an ambulance coming near me.
Poodle soapbox. There you go. So
Patricia's great as usual. I don't have a problem with her. She's got a new dog named Peaches because, of course, and Michael's there to pick up Peaches.
Michael's there. We love Michael and Patricia. Now,
don't pull over. Here, may have a little grace. My Lord is with thee.
They are coming.
Blessed are you among women.
Amen. So we get a little bit of, Shep kind of mentions this, and Craig and Kathryn are about to go lunch, but Shep says he doesn't know if they're going to invite Cameron because Cameron really hasn't been hanging out with them a lot. Because
newsflash, she's not on the show this season.
Well, yeah, and she's just over it. And she doesn't want to. Cameron was already not even like a cast member for the last 2 seasons anyway. She was barely there. Y'all, you can tell she like had a kid and like grown up, and she's selling. We call her Instagram Walmart because she's always selling something on her Instagram. She's making that money doing so. Like she's moving on.
Must say though, I have a real problem with them making a big plot point of Cameron's husband cheating, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, when she's not even on the fucking
Well, we
show.
can talk about it. That's when Craig and Kathryn go to lunch.
Yeah.
And they're having this lunch. Kathryn's having a drink. She's like, deal with it. Now, she says S&S on Craig's nails. I don't know what that means.
I don't know either. I'm not
S&S or let us know.
Kind of nail thing.
I'll start getting my nails done.
But Craig gets manicures, and she basically tells Craig, I've heard a rumor, and it's that Jason, Cam's husband anyway, is having an affair. He's cheating. And everyone else thinks this is made up. Maybe it's Charleston gossip. Who knows?
This was a big deal in the news. And again, the show is talking about, there was a lot of shit that happened to the cast members since we last saw them like outside. And they're talking about all of it. Cameron responded to this, and this was in May, I believe, of 2019.
She did. I remember this.
She even talked about how she actually really felt sorry for the girl who was accused. I think it was a makeup artist or something in Charleston who said who claimed she has never even met Cam or Jason, and only knows of them from the show. And Cam said, I feel sorry for her because Cam said, I agreed to be on a reality show. This person did not.
Right.
So it's we don't know if it's true or not. We're not here to speculate if it's true or not.
Craig had a problem with it. And I think if it was true, Craig would have listened a little bit and gone, oh, really? I think they would have scripted that as well. I also need to talk about the fact that Kathryn was wearing a camo jacket that looked totally like House of 11.
It did look like House of 11.
That Darcy and Stacey from 90 Day
It did look like House of 11.
It was very House of 11.
Where goes that? So Craig basically denies this and says this is like totally bullshit. And then Craig says a funny thing. He's like, I love gossip. And, because in high school, I was voted most dramatic as my superlative. Which is fucking true, y'all. Because he does get dramatic.
What were you voted in high school?
In high school, senior, most talented.
Boy.
But in middle school, in middle school, when we did it, I was most talkative.
Who has superlatives in middle school?
I don't know. It's dumb. Were you voted a superlative?
I was voted 2 in high school. I was voted most intellectual and most likely to put foot in my mouth. And that's real to this day.
That is on brand. That is on brand. That tracks. That is something I live with daily on this show. And why
Robin Walsh knows it if she's listening.
That's why we have a lawyer on retainer, because y'all don't know what happens behind the scenes. Poodle said this again. Texting Emily all the time.
I know. Anyway, so we kind of find out a little bit. Craig is basically talking about he cut off Shep for a few months, and he's like, when you're ready to do better, you can just talk to me, dude. And then he's like, Taylor is the reason, Shep's girlfriend, is the reason why I've reconciled with Shep. So maybe Taylor is a good thing after all.
Because Shep really fucked over everybody. I mean, he fucked over, not really Cameron, but he fucked over Kathryn. I mean, he was on the outs with a lot of people. And so, but Kathryn, I don't feel like she cares that much. I think Kathryn's just happy to drink again.
Exactly. But no one burned a bridge like Madison, and they're still kind of letting her back in.
Well, because
Madison basically said that Shep gave Danny chlamydia, remember?
Well, we also have to remember, y'all, who is the producer of the show? Whitney. And who is very close with Madison, and Madison does her hair.
True.
Patricia, you guys, no. When you're Patricia Altschul, you are never going to fuck over the woman that does your hair.
It's true, but damn, the fact that she got a free pass from that. We haven't really talked about. I think they did mention chlamydia.
But we also,
bit.
Though, Madison brought it, we don't need to rehash it all. But for my memory, Madison brought it up, but Austen is the one who told her that, and Austen is the one who made it up.
Yeah, fat tongue,
and he got a pass on that because it's boys' club.
We don't know. We're not sure if Austen made it up. We're not even sure about that.
But he did admit to telling her that on the reunion last year.
That's true.
He did.
Yeah.
So
maybe it was someone else.
Sad reunion.
Oh, that was the worst reunion ever. So Shep, we do see Taylor and Taylor. They look cute together, and they're bathing Craig the dog. And Craig the dog is still alive, and Shep has somehow kept a dog alive.
Shocker.
And it turns out that Shep met Taylor somewhere, and she said, I was a marine biologist, and it turns out she was a dental assistant.
I kind of like
nothing
that
wrong
story.
with
I thought that story was
nothing
cute.
wrong with dental assistants.
No.
Nothing wrong.
I almost became an orthodontist. Come at me if you're a dental assistant and you listen. I love getting my teeth cleaned. I love it. Cleans it, they get it all out, and then afterwards you're just smiling.
I don't mind the pre-stuff. I do not like the drill.
Oh, do it. Fucking do it. Clean it.
I used to have a dental assistant in South Carolina who had very large breasts, and when she would lean over me, her breasts would literally fall into my mouth.
And nothing would happen.
I would just be like, your boobs in my mouth.
Mama, can you come help me, Mama? I'm scared. Go on, Jake.
So anyway, Madison is basically they're choosing their outfits for the Dumb and Dumber party. Still the worst theme party idea.
Yeah.
And Madison's like, I'll be fine with Shep. She's like, if I can get past the threesome, I can get past someone called me white trash, and we always remember the Madison, you're a crazy person. And we see the two girls come out, and Madison's like, "Fuck you,
Austin and
blah, blah,
Justin
blah."
is boner. This sequin dress,
Austin does have a nice penis. I'm not going to lie.
It does. It's a nice penis. But we as Poodle has the gift. When Madison comes out in that sequin dress, she looks fucking gorgeous. I can't deal with how pretty she is in that.
It's just basic. I don't know why you're a huge fan of hers.
I just think she wears clothes well. I think she always looks really put together, and I think of her as like a doll. I know, but she looks really pretty.
There's nothing in it. There's no Kathryn star quality to her. I'm sorry.
I never said that. That's totally different. Kathryn is heads and tails more of a star than Madison. Heads and tails.
You talk her up in a way that I just can't see.
No, I think actually even like Chelsea, Danny are much more star quality than Madison.
I agree.
But I just think I know it's totally, I just think she's just beautiful. But I do like her style. I like her style a lot. She wears really cute clothes. Because some people watch this for the style.
She's got better hair choices this season. You were a fan of hers, especially that white dress that she wore at the tell-all that I thought was awful.
Loved it.
Ugh, it looked like a terrible thing off of Dynasty.
I loved it. Anyway, so I guess Madison and Danny have made up because Madison calls Kathryn while she's at Danny's, and they're all three talking about what they're going to wear, and Danny's like, "Oh, Madison." So I guess
chlamydia gate's over.
So Craig shows up to go talk to his friend at a restaurant, and y'all, we've met her before, but now we're meeting a new cast member.
I am most excited about Leva, you guys.
Leva's going to be my favorite cast member of the whole season. I'm already telling you that now. I know your favorite is Craig. Leva is going to take the reins. I can feel it. First of all, I think she's beautiful. She has just she has the perfect amount of lip filler. And no, she's beautiful. And she's going to fucking tell everybody who they are. And I cannot wait.
We've also met her before.
We have.
And the show took great pains to show. She's a friend of Cam's.
Yeah.
The show took great pains to show her that she had been at previous events. And so she's not just like a random new person like Eliza.
Yeah. My name's Eliza Limehouse. I've never been here to fuck before, but I fucked.
Or being a Limehouse.
But I gave Whitney a blowjob once in junior high, and so that's why I'm here. Limehouse.
I'm a Limehouse. My daddy fucked some other girl and has a second family.
We don't talk about that because that's hard. Let's go horse riding.
She was dumb. Holy fuck.
She was dumb. So I used to be on the AfterBuzz show, which, by the way, I've got like 3 or 4 you tweeted me today and said, "Are y'all doing?" AfterBuzz is on hiatus right now, so I did talk to Maite and the other women in the AfterBuzz show, and maybe we'll do something when all of us get together and stuff's not going on. But anyway. I know a lot of you have jumped on from AfterBuzz on Twitter, that are jumping into us. So welcome to a lot more blue of a show.
Well, you can't swear on AfterBuzz, right? Because I was on it like one time and I said like 2 curse words and I was banned.
You said fuck 5 times because you can't.
You know what? I can't be tame like Miley Cyrus.
Or you don't listen. Either one. So anyway, I do miss what Crystal used to do the best of Eliza Limehouse impression. But yes, she's off the show. But Leva, I
believe.
So Craig tells her,
y'all don't pull over. There's more sirens.
Don't pull over. So Leva is either works or owns this restaurant called Republic, and Craig.
There we go.
There they go. Please be safe, y'all.
That's all cops, actually. That's in the ambulance.
Craig,
that's cops.
Craig tells her, he's like, this is a shit that's being said about Cameron. And she's like,
furious.
First of all, I love that she has a potty mouth. She like goes fucking off on it. I think I love that because, a lot of women in the South still don't swear, y'all. Like, that's a thing that women.
That's true.
And so, like, we would get a cuss every once in a while from, like, Cam or whatever, or, like, from Kathryn. Leva's just like, fuck it. And just is like, beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
And so,
she is the Southern charm woman who's going to shake things up. I'm really excited about her. I agree with you.
I am. I think, there's some people that are like, what's cool about this is, to me, it's still shocking. I know they have Southern Charm New Orleans, but that's a totally different show. It's still shocking to me that they don't have any black women on this show when there are a large number of black people in Charleston. And
I will tell you why that is.
Well, but I know because this show was founded on the whole like upper crust boys club. So I imagine that is what we're going to talk about. What Leva's kind of what she talks about wanting Charleston to kind of represent the Charleston she envisions Charleston as. It's because it's so stratified within races, I'm assuming.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think it's remarkable at all. It has to do with the reason why in California we will have our social strata, the bottom of it usually has to do with people from a Latinx class.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just because historically that's the hardest class to be from. In South Carolina, it is the black people.
Mm-hmm.
That is the historically downtrodden caste or class. And that's why it's hardest to break into. It's no mystery to me at all.
But that's what I'm bringing up is that I think a lot of people in the rest of the country maybe we're starting to realize this now with what's happening with Black Lives Matter. But I think a lot of people don't realize they don't realize that is what South Carolina its history. And so I'm excited for Leva.
If you look at politics right now, South Carolina has a black Republican senator currently, Tim Scott, and they have Lindsey Graham, the white Republican senator, fighting off a challenge from a black Democratic senator. So things are equalizing. We are seeing a sea change.
Yeah.
But Charleston, I will tell you now, Charleston will be the last place we will see it.
Mm.
And it has nothing to do with politics. It's everything to do with social etiquette, which, strangely enough, means more than politics in Charleston.
Well, because also if you think about it, I mean, these people like the Ravenels, the Pringles, where they have not just decades, but almost some of them have like a century of family money.
Totally.
But how can black people compete with that? Because a century ago, they can't,
and that's baked in.
Because 150 years ago, their family members were slaves. So,
right.
So anyway, so that we bring that up, and that I think that Leva is going to start challenging that. So that's exciting to see.
I just want to point out something super superficial, that both of them are taking a break from their jobs as lumberjacks. They're both in flannel.
They are.
And I'm so confused. Like they're both like, hi ho, hi ho. It's a weird match. I don't know what's going on. In Charleston, you guys, Charleston's never cold. Like, the coldest it gets is like maybe 45, 50. But everyone, it's like LA. Everyone, when it gets down to like 50 here, everyone's like, oh my God, it's freezing. Give me a fleece.
People wearing hats.
Oh God. My favorite are the women who wear fleece in LA.
Well, now
like Patagonia.
I do. Now, Leva she said the only reason Kathryn's doing this shit is because Kathryn fucking it has a thing against Cameron, because Cameron she didn't think Cameron was nice about her. So we'll see how that plays off. But
which this is not true, because Cameron was totally a Kathryn apologist for like 2 previous seasons. And
but Cameron did talk shit about Kathryn, but never to Kathryn's face.
Yeah.
She would talk about her, and they showed that. They showed clips of her saying, I don't care about her. She's da-da-da, but she...
Those were not recent seasons, though, I will say.
No, but I think Kathryn doesn't forget, Poodle.
Like an elephant.
Yeah.
I get you. Should we move on to the party?
Let's move on to the party.
The Dumb and Dumber party at the WeWork office.
Where they're serving spicy palomas, and Madison walks in with my favorite, y'all, ladies. This is my favorite wedding hair right here. Her hair looks fantastic. I'm getting it all out this episode.
I really wish, but she looked, that black sequin thing was so boring.
I loved it.
I know you liked it.
I thought it was like a classic looking. I loved it.
Well, number one, the theme of this party is dumb. And if you're going to commit to a theme, it needs to be something that everyone can kind of embrace.
But this theme doesn't mean anything. It's hard.
For the men, it does. The men do it.
But it's not a theme. What do you wear for Dumb and Dumber when you're a woman?
Exactly. Kathryn wore whatever she wanted to. She's like, I'm wearing an orange bow tie. That's what I'm going for.
And it was cute.
But I will say, none of the women really cared. And so it just was it fell.
No one cared because it was a stupid theme. People cared. You know, when we had
Dumb and Dumber.
Guess what? When we had a Tennessee Williams party and Poodle got blitzed on mint juleps and made out with 3 guys and threw up in the bathroom, everyone looked fantastic.
And everyone wore white.
Everyone wore.
And I wasn't letting anybody else in.
We
had women wearing slips.
If you have a Tennessee Williams party or you have a theme party and people are asking you what to wear, that means you didn't set a clear theme for your party.
It's true.
Who knew that this episode would be so much about party planning etiquette?
And you know what? If you're having a Tennessee Williams party, you're most likely gay.
Oh, or very. It is the things we go off on. I just took a picture. Someone left us a review, which, by the way, y'all go, especially for this show. Let's just say this now. This is not the 90 Day Gay Show, y'all. This is a totally different
review on Sweet
This is
Tea,
a totally different podcast. So we really, really, really need your reviews on this podcast to help share it in the world. So go to on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review. And if you don't know what to put, just put Madison, Madison, Madison.
Or Madison, or keep going, Queens. Anything.
Someone wrote on I think it's applicable for this. They wrote 90 days, 90 topics. Only a top shelf podcast like this can use the content from a garbage show like TLC to discuss everything from country music, satellites, and Robert Oppenheimer. Just hit play.
Yeah, I did mention Robert Oppenheimer on the.
I did. And who knew? You leave a review and say, I came for this show to talk about a Bravo reality show, and instead of, they read me for my party planning skills.
And I learned that I need to serve heavy hors d'oeuvres if I serve liquor.
Mm-hmm. And I learned what wedding hair I need to have. So whatever, y'all, come in. So we're at this party, and so here's the deal. There's this guy who's really cute named Peter. He was cute.
I was so fucking into Peter and Liz, who are Shep's friends. And I think we've seen Peter before.
We have.
But
y'all find him on Instagram and come at me.
I would bang the fuck out of Peter, and Peter would never go back to women.
Never.
Because Peter's a little gay.
He's got to be a little gay. He's not like, I mean, they have these. Anyway, he's really. But so, come to find out,
Peter is exactly my type. Ugh,
Peter
Jesus.
And Madison fucked y'all. The more we watch,
is great. It's good for me because Madison's basically a drag queen. But yeah.
No, I was about to say Madison is basically you. Really, she's an opportunist. She likes to look at herself in the mirror, and she's fucked everybody in town. That's you.
Fair.
Y'all, literally, Jake moved to California because he called me and said, I was at dinner, and basically I realized by proxy I'd fucked everyone at dinner. It's time to leave.
I'm laughing because I'm uncomfortable.
But that's exactly what he said. And so how many times I don't even have enough hands to count how many times I've been to a party and I'm having a great time, and then all of a sudden Jake pulled. This is when we used to be roommates, not in a sexual way, but just best friends. And he'd pull me aside so we come together at the party, and he'd say, "We have to go. I fucked that guy, and he's here with his husband. It's gonna get awkward."
And I will say, the reason why Peter was kind of disoriented by seeing Madison is it's the only girl who had let him put it in her butt.
Yeah.
And she suggested it.
Yeah.
And
she like did something on top, and he was like, "What the fuck, y'all?"
Yeah.
Madison is the best sex of Peter's life. Madison is the best sex of anybody's life.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. She knows exactly what she's the best sex of Austin's life. She's the best sex of anyone's life who has her.
Yes.
And it's hard to forget her. And that's why Peter's either girlfriend or wife lost her shit.
Lost her shit because, y'all, she knows. Everybody knows.
Yeah. And women have that ability to see a girl who's like dangerous to them. And so they're like, we're getting out of here.
It's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Peter and Liz and Shep's like, I don't know what's going on, dude. And Shep promises that he did not invite them for that reason. And I kind of believe him.
I believe him, but y'all, it's hard because remember the last party when he pulled that dick move and invited the girls Austin had the threesome with?
Terrible.
And so Madison's kind of like, yeah, sure, whatever, Shep. She's like, this is shit's on you. You haven't changed a bit.
Yeah, Madison thinks it's a setup. And y'all, Whitney and Patricia show up. And then it's all good because that's when they start. Patricia's like, well, I guess the only kind of parties that happen where good food is the ones that I throw.
Yeah.
And she's right.
And she's holding court. And then, y'all, in comes John Pringle.
John Pringle shows up.
Whoa.
John Pringle can have me. Anytime, y'all. That's the thing.
John Pringle, if you're listening, I will shave my back and put on a blonde wig. You will never know the difference. I'm telling you, John Pringle. You won't care. I can speak really high.
Except your boobs aren't as perky as they should be.
No, I'll work on it. I'll work on it, John Pringle. Y'all, this guy, and he comes in and
holy fuck.
And without a beat, Patricia says, "Oh, are you the Pringle for da 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 da?" And he's like, "Yes, ma'am."
Yes, ma'am. I am.
That was my grandfather. And as soon as Patricia hears that,
John Ashhouse.
As soon as Patricia hears that, she is pulling Madison to the side and says, "Well,"
because you know why? Austin's not really Southern. John Pringle is Southern, and and Patricia wants the best for Madison.
And she said that Austin is a man child and a boy, which is true. He doesn't have his shit together at all. And she's like, Madison, y'all, like her or not, Madison is a self-made woman. She's worked her ass off. She's built her own career.
I can't doubt you there.
And so, whereas Austin has done fucking shit. But I think the crux of all of this is you just nailed it. Austin is not Southern.
No, that's it. Yeah. And you really have to be from the club, you guys. In Charleston, you have to be Southern.
Because as soon as John said that, he had an immediate access that like Craig had to work so much harder for. And even Craig still is not in that club.
Nope. And that's why Eliza, unfortunately, is in that club. And someone like Landon, who we don't really talk about anymore, has been relegated to being back in San Diego. God, fucking Landon.
Oh, when they showed at the end of last season that Landon and Ashley are friends now.
Awful.
That's the one thing. Ashley. This show has no qualms about shading people that were on this show. None.
No.
None.
So yeah, definitely Patricia's trying to break up who I called Mauston. She's trying to break up Madison and Austin. And
I bet you know what? I'll bet she'll do it.
Because so she says you should have a play date. He has a 7-year-old kid, and you should do
you
that.
Play with Hunter, yes. So y'all, because he just moved back from the West Coast, so She said
The only other thing we had was Cam texted Kathryn and basically says, why are you spreading gossip about me? This never happened. And Kathryn's like, I just was talking about what I heard. Gossip. She's like, just be a good human, which is something what Cameron would say.
And then Kathryn kind of says,
I don't give a fuck.
And she was like, you know what? She's like, she hurt me to my core, and she's an asshole.
She's an asshole. So it's open season on Cam, you guys, and Kathryn's going to be Maleficent this season. It's going to be really ugly,
and it's going to be also amazing. And Kathryn had so much highlighter on her face at this party. She looked like she looked as if someone had done really bad Day of the Dead makeup on her and didn't put in the shadow.
She looked absolutely terrible.
Ladies, highlighter should be subtle. It should not. People shouldn't see
like Stacy from 90 Day. You shouldn't live on highlighter.
You shouldn't see the highlighter. You should actually just feel like your skin looks glowing.
I agree.
Come to me for makeup tips. Come to me, y'all.
Well, you need to send them because I'm tired of referring people to you.
Everybody loves that black honey now. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I don't give a shit.
Y'all, that's basically, I think
Is it time for, do we need to do our quote and quotables?
Strong tea.
Strong tea.
Give me strong tea with quote and quotables. Y'all, this is a section of the show, if you're new to the show, where we always talk about a quote. And I don't remember what mine was.
So I'm on. It is, I will say now, mine is Patricia, where she said, oh yes, go get Peaches. She's the new guard dog. She's part Rottweiler. And we bring out Peaches, and it's a goddamn Pomeranian.
It's a Pomeranian.
So, yeah, not a lot of quote and quotables in this one.
My quote and quotable actually was, I've never thought Austen was gay, and I still don't think he is. But when Madison walked out in that first dress, he was like, I mean, you look like somebody from Mulan, like that Disney princess. And I went,
queer.
Was Mulan like a really, really just impactful movie to your life, Austen? It was just came out of nowhere.
He's so dumb.
He's pretty dumb.
Oh, he's so awful.
He's pretty dumb. So there wasn't a lot of
give me more John Pringle.
I know there wasn't a lot of quote and quotables. Normally I do. Patricia, when Patricia said, I'm not even going to say this word right. She's like, when she's serving drinks to Shep, so she's like,
chinoiserie.
It's a chinoiserie straw. Not that you know what that is.
That is the best. There's a straw to it. It's a chinoiserie straw.
Which I don't know what that means. What is that, like poodle?
A fake Chinese-ish straw. Where to be Asian was to be important. Yeah. Chinoiserie. From chinois, which is the French word for Chinese. Chinoiserie.
And there we go.
All right, we need to end this show because I need to go jerk off to John Pringle picks.
Y'all can come at us on, if you remember where our website's changed, it's at 90 Day Gaze now. That's where you can come at our other shows. You can look at the show links and you can,
or if you type in Sissy That Talk, it'll come up 90 Day Gaze.
You can check out our show 90 Day Fiance. We're recapping that show right now. And if you're new to the show too, we have a Gatreon, aka our Patreon, where we're recapping a lot. We do old episodes of 90 Day Fiance. We're recapping Love After Lockup.
Lalu.
We're going to be doing, we've already said we do also a Bi-Curious episode, like a new episode every month.
Or we do any show we decide to do.
And we already decided that in November, we're going to be doing I Love Mama's Boy.
I Love a Mama's Boy.
We're going to be doing that shit show. So people keep asking us if we're going to recap that entire show. Y'all, it's not.
The answer is no.
No, it's not that great. And Southern Charm came up, and so we're going to be doing this.
This is where we want to be.
It's true. You can also find us on Cameo. Poodle is at Jake It or Fake It, and I'm at the Matt Marr.
I felt so bad. I missed one today, and I gave it to her free.
Well,
I'm all about giving things to people free. Usually not hers.
You said it, not me. Anyway, again, because if he didn't give it for free, y'all, we would be doing this show in a studio. And I wouldn't be doing this in an echoey Airbnb, and Poodle wouldn't have to walk all over his apartment to find the right fucking internet so he could connect to this goddamn show. But yes, why don't you think about giving away for free? Anyway, everybody.
Anyway, that's the show.
That's the show, y'all. Now, we'll see you next week. And remember, y'all come back now.
Y'all come back now,
Yeah.
Well, now it's time to say goodbye to Poodle and to Matt. And they would like to thank you folks for listening to their chat. You're all invited back next week, but please, before we're through, just mosey down to iTunes and leave us a review.
Poodle, you and reviews, you're shameless.
That's what they call me in college.
Y'all come back now, you hear?